Being able to shoot elegant bridal portraits in a studio setting can create a lot of opportunities for photographers. Studio shoots are easy to plan, they're easy to schedule, and you don't have to worry about weather, time of year, securing locations. It's all here and ready to go. So today we're going to do a high-key lighting scenario. We're going to be exclusively using flash units, and we're going to get some nice photos. So let's do it. This is the Neewer Academy. All right, so here we are in the studio. Hope is back with us today. Hope was here for the RGB 1200 promo shoot, and we invited her back today to be our model for our bridal shoot. So today we're going to be shooting with the S101 400 flash heads. These guys are really cool. These are the 400 Pros from Neewer. And you can see on my camera, we're also using the QPro flash trigger. This is going to let us dial in settings and sync to these flash units. It makes doing this really, really easy. I love this little combo. We've got two of these. I've also brought on this side a 101 300. That is not the Pro model. That's actually kind of a manual flash, but I wanted to show you how you can use it in tandem with these other ones by using the optical trigger on that flash head. So we'll say bye to Hope for a minute, and then we'll light our background, and then we'll bring you back in and we'll set up our key light. So we'll see you in a minute. All right, so here we are lighting our background. I've got my two lights. I've got my S101 400 Pro on this side. I'm controlling that with my QPro trigger. And on this side, I have my 101 300 with the optical trigger. So when this guy goes off, this goes off. They both light up my backdrop. So one of the hallmarks of high key light is we're gonna have low contrast on our subject. So we're not gonna have deep, deep dark shadows. We're gonna have nice kind of smooth light on our subject. And we want our background to be overexposed. So normally I think when we're lighting, we kind of like to drop the light down in our backgrounds and then kind of highlight our subjects. High key light does the opposite of that. So when we think about that, we need to know where we want to be with our key light. I think f11 is where I'd like to shoot. That gives me some nice range. It's a nice, great depth of field. f11 is a comfortable place to be in the studio, so that's what I'm going to be shooting at, which means these need to be brighter than f11. So we're going to start metering, and we're aiming for, I think, 2 or 3 stops brighter than our exposure. All right, so to get started, we're going to just sort of figure out where our lights are right now. I've just turned them on. Right now, this light is at its lowest power setting. So let's just see what that meter's at. All right, so that's metering at a 5.6. So that's way too dark. So I can use my little QPro to dial that up. Let's go to quarter power. 16, closer. If I get to half, 22. So 22 I think is nice. If we're exposing our key light at f11, then 16, 22, we're 2 stops overexposed on our background, which I think is going to really blow it out in that nice way. Let's check this guy really quick. 16, so this needs to brighten up. 1 sec. All right, and let's just see what we get. 22, so that's really nice. So both of my strobes now are hitting at 22. You'll notice that I'm metering kind of here. If I want to, I can be checking all over the place. I think kind of central because I'm not going to be shooting that wide. My portrait is going to be right around here. So if I'm metering this area and I'm getting 22 on this side, 22 on this side, that's really right where I want to be. So we're good. Our background is lit. Now we can move on to our key light. All right, so here we are. We've got our background lights all set up. Now we're going to concentrate on our key light. So this is another one of my S101 400 Pros, and I've got my lantern softbox on this. I really like these lantern softboxes for really soft key lights. So this light's not very directional, it's just kind of spilling everywhere. So we're just going to get some really soft light out of it. And remember what we said earlier, we're aiming for f11. That's the number for our exposure that we're overexposing our background against. So we're going to try to get this guy to f11. Right now it's at full power, so cover your eyes for this, and we'll see, we'll just see what we get at full power, and then we'll dial it down from there. So, full power, yeah, it's bright. So that's an f45, so that is way too bright. So let's just see what we get. Quarter power, that's 22, we're getting closer. We can go down to a 32nd. F11. There it is. So that's really nice, and that was easy. So we're at a 32nd power on this guy, that lantern softbox. We're reading right at F11, our background's bright. So now we're gonna grab our camera. All right, so here we are, ready to shoot. Notice I don't have a meter anymore. I've done my metering, I've set my lights up. If I need it again, I'll grab it. But at this point, I'm just like here with the camera. And again, the nice thing about using these guys is if I notice I've got something a little hot, if I want that key a little brighter, a little darker, I can just go up like a third of a stop, down a half, whatever, in here and make things beautiful without needing that meter anymore. So the last thing that I need to know is, do I need any bounce? Do I need any fill light? I've got my key here. I'm looking for darkness on this side of the face when I start shooting my photos. My meter can kind of tell me that, but I like looking at my camera and seeing in the final pictures. So let's take a few and see what we get. And I can definitely see on that side of the face that I need a little bit more light. So I'm just gonna bring in a really simple flex fill, and I've got it on a C-stand here. And I like that a lot. So now we've got our fill, we've got our key light, we've got our background set up, we have a very patient model, and now we can actually start taking pictures. Now we can do some posing, we can do some modeling, and we can get a really beautiful shot. So let's get started. So there you go. Pretty simple setup. 2 lights in the back that gave us that nice kind of washed out background for that high key background, that lantern that was giving us that soft contrast, and then a little bit of bounce coming in from the flex fill. I hope you guys get out there and try some of this stuff. Do not be intimidated by studio flashes. They can make some really beautiful photos, and they're not as complicated as people think. I hope you try some of this. I can't wait to see the things you make. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.